My grandma I knew my whole life isn't even my real grandma because my grandpa screwed her little sister. I've been mind screwed since yesterday since I found out the truth about my whole family situation. My grandma isn't even my real grandma. My grandpa screwed my grandma's little sister, my actual real grandma, when they were married and had a child, my mum, so my real grandma has passed away now and I had a pseudo-grandma for my whole life. My grandpa then went on to have 6 more kids with my grandma. The thing is my grandparents raised my mum as if she was their own, so my mum is the oldest in the family. I have a large extended family but I always felt like the black sheep. My cousins and aunties/uncles have been my half-cousins and half-aunties/uncles this whole time. Apparently none of my cousins know but all the uncles and aunties know. To give some backstory, my oldest auntie hated my mum and was a nasty witch to her since adolescence and my mum still detests her till this day. I never got along with my cousins from that auntie, even though they had a son just 1 year younger than me. I felt like I got the same treatment my mum got from her sister. Those cousins, 2 girls and 2 boys, would social media stalk me and engage in malicious gossip and spread fucked up rumors about me. And at family gatherings, they would make snide comments randomly at me. My mum assumes the reason for the hostility from my aunt towards her is because she found out she comes from another mum, her aunt. I'm 30 years old now and for the last 10 years I barely went to any of the social gatherings, but went to a lot of them growing up as a kid and adolescent. My other cousin would also make nasty comments at me randomly when I did attend a gathering. Like purposely trying to exclude me from the tribe. Even though they don't know about this secret, it's like deep down unconsciously they do. Some of my uncles would also frequently try to belittle me whenever they saw fit. The auntie that was a bitch to my mum was kinda cold to me too, and it feels kinda fake when I did interact with her. My grandpa passed away last year and my mum eventually found out the truth by confirmations from her uncles/aunties. The twisted thing is my mum had an inkling growing up cause she said my grandma abused her and was very mean to her. She thought that my grandma didn't love her growing up. Growing up my grandma was never really that affectionate with me, but she was with my cousins. Like cuddling them and doting/kissing, so that added the suspicion for my mum. My mum had a cousin that was 9 years older, and she thought it was odd when my grandma never took care of my mum as a baby/kid, but her auntie, real grandma, would take care of my mum and be really affectionate. The screwed up thing is my mum confronted my grandpa when she was like 35, 55 years old now, about her suspicion that her auntie is her real mother, and my aunts told my grandpa to put my mum in a mental institution cause they didn't want the secret out and he went through with it. So my mum was put into the psychiatric hospital for schizophrenia. They knew it would taint my grandpa's image and wanted my cousins to believe in this happy little lie. So I grew up having a psychotic mum, but they just gaslit the fuck out of her. My mum had multiple suicide attempts when I was growing up as a kid/teenager. My mum and her older cousin that knew had a meeting with one of my aunties to talk about it after confirmation that it was all true, and my auntie just told them to promise not to tell any of the kids, cousins and me/my siblings, so they don't taint the image of grandpa and the drama it could ensue. My mum is obviously going to break that promise and eventually tell my other siblings. I'm the first to know. My mum barely ever sees them and doesn't attend any of the gatherings. Everything is clicking now why I always felt like an outsider. My other siblings are the same, that we don't go to the gatherings except one of my sisters since she gets along with them. But my mum doesn't know if she should tell her the truth. At the funeral, one of the cousins that was quite cold and nasty to me gave a eulogy, and you know how when you give a eulogy you gas them up, like try to make them seem like such a great person, using phrases like how he was a gentleman etc. She literally said that LOL. But the point is there's a lot of pretentiousness in this family and I just thought that was amusing. I've met my grandma only twice in my life, when I was a teenager and she came to visit and my sister's wedding, but I don't remember it. When she passed away 5 years ago in Vietnam, my mum was the only one to attend the funeral. Apparently everyone was shocked how similar my mum looked like her, but everyone just said 'cause she's her niece. A part of me feels sad that I'll never get to experience the warmth of my grandma. What's it's like to be doted on as a kid? My interactions with my grandma always felt kinda distant. It was actually the same with my grandpa. It's like we reminded him of how he betrayed his wife. Didn't help that they could barely speak English, lol. I wonder how different everything would be if we could actually talk to each other, since I can't speak Vietnamese and they never bothered to learn English when they migrated to Australia. Now looking at some of the family photos, and it's like a whole new lens has been added. Don't know if it's a fake smile coming from my grandma or not, and I swear I can see the rage and bitterness in her eyes. There's only like one cousin that I feel like I have a decent bond with, and most of the others I'm amicable with. But for the specific family members that treated me harshly for whatever reason, it showed me the truth that I was never truly part of the family. The next time I see them, I wonder what's it's going to feel like, since I only just know the truth now. My mum said the aunties are being more distant with her since they now know that my mum also knows the truth. I feel pretty fucked in the head growing up in that family. Still deal with mental health issues and poor self-esteem, and I attribute a lot to growing up with them. Not to say there weren't ever any good or fun times, but the negative just outweighs the positive by a landslide. I really wonder what life would be like if instead of my grandpa taking care of my mum, she stayed back in Vietnam with my grandma and we never knew this family. Just had to rant 'cause my mind is going haywire about all of this and how everything has played out in my life. I dunno if I'm just mind screwing myself, but everything just makes sense now.